to cover the Oscars on the podcast, do an Oscars podcast, predictions, show. My wife and I were going to do it this year. Again, not realizing that most of the movies that are nominated for the Oscars are all in the theaters right now. Most of them in the theaters. There's very few that were available through the streaming services, like The Irishman was, or I think there's another movie that was available on streaming. All the movies were actually available in theaters. Now, I have no problem going to the theaters watching the movie. The problem is my time is limited, and we have 2 young kids. One's still 2 years old that requires me to get a babysitter to do so. I'm not taking my kids to see these movies with me. I need to get somebody to watch my kids. And again, we have parents ourselves who that work or aren't able to take care of things, take care of the kids a moment's notice, and our time is limited as it is. So, unfortunately, our attempt to cover the podcast again this year has failed. At least this year we tried. We really did try this time around. Last year, I said we were going to do the podcast on the Oscars, and I really didn't push it that much, to be honest with you. Because by the time we got on to January, the nominations were out, and I'm like, okay, let's try this, but I don't know if I have enough time. And I didn't even bother pushing it again. This year, I really made an attempt to do it. My wife and I, we actually sat together, we actually researched the movies, figured out, and then when we knew they were in the theaters, we even said to ourselves, okay, how can we do this? How can we actually, get ourselves in a place where we can go to movies and see these films together as a couple? And it was impossible because of our schedules. And the thing is, there's too many movies and not enough time. That's the issue too. And I don't want to half-ass it either. I don't want to just watch, I think we had kind of like 18, 19 movies we had to watch, and we didn't want to half-ass it. That's the thing. We don't want to half-ass it. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. So maybe next year I'll be a little better prepared to do it. Obviously, I'll know this time around in late 2020 that the movies that are out in theaters are going to be nominees for the Oscars, most likely. I'll do my research going forward into that. We'll see if we do it next year. I would like to blend more of that. I mean, one of the things about this podcast I do love, and we're now in our 9th year doing this podcast, or entering the 9th year of this podcast, is how the show has changed. And I spoke about in the past about this show, how it's changed from being a sports podcast and only sports to now slowly through the 9 years into just a variety of things. This is no longer a sports show. This is something this is a podcast I do with my friends, people who I want to talk to about life, sports too, politics, pop culture, you name it. It's all on the table. Or I'll come on here like right now and just talk about things off my chest. I'm so glad. I'm in a better place with this show than I've ever been, because I'm for the first time I feel like I have the freedom. And that wasn't the freedom to do it before, but I don't like being stuck in a box. I've always said that, and I'm so glad I'm embracing more of this. Doing more variety themed stuff. It's not a sports podcast. We talk a lot of sports on this podcast because sports is important to me. I love talking about football, basketball, baseball too. Love talking about wrestling, but I also like talking about politics. I love talking about pop culture, music, movies, TV shows, especially. So I'm so glad I'm embracing this direction, and have been doing it for the course of the last couple of years, especially the last year or so. I've really taken it and run